Well, it's time to start thinking about a spare tire for this thing because we're going to drive this all over the forest in Tennessee, and odds are we might get a flat tire even with these BF Goodrich KM2s. I do actually have a good spare tire. It's the same size and everything. Trouble is, I need some wheels. Now, these free wheels that I polished up in an earlier video are 15 by 10. That's 15-inch rims by 10 inches wide. This is the only wheel that I have that matches the 6 by 5.5 tread or lug pattern, or whatever pattern the Chevy is. This will fit on there. The trouble is, this is a really narrow tire that came off of an Isuzu Trooper, also for free. So I believe it's deep enough and big enough to go over all the brakes and stuff. However, this has to fit a tire that is 13.5 inches wide. But that's a problem for me and not for you, because this video is about how to change a tire by yourself using tricks and methods I saw on other people's videos. So I plan on using a jack to debead this tire so that I can get this rim apart, tape it up, and put the spare on. It is very toasty in this shop, and I'm going to be sweating a lot. I'd open the door, but the sun is shining right in here because it's early in the morning, and nobody wants to see that. So the first step in this process is going to be removing the air from this tire. And for that, I think I'll just pull that valve core. I will list this tool in the description below. It has a threaded thing to go on your valve stem to put new valve stems in your rims that have no tires on it. On the other side, it actually has a little tool to take your valve cores out. This tire is completely flattened, so I'm probably not going to get any air out of this, but compressing this tire with the jack is probably going to push some air out of this anyway. I don't have any spare cores, so I'm going to put this in a safe spot where it won't get contaminated and it won't get lost. For the next step in this process, you're basically going to ratchet strap the wheel to this part of the jack, the part that stays on the floor, and position this pad right here on the tire. And so you're going to be pulling the wheel while pushing the tire and hopefully debead this thing from the wheel. Flip it over, repeat the process, and then all you have to do is tire spoon this sucker out of your wheel, and then you have a wheel you can use. I actually called my local tire shop and asked them how much it would cost to do this process, and the guy quoted me $42. If you make a lot of money, you could just go to work for an extra hour and drop your tire off on the way to work, pick it up on the way back. But I actually kind of think this stuff is fun, and I get to learn a new trick. So here we are. Now these are strapped together. Let's see if this actually works. Of course, might have to hold down the jack. I have to hold down the jack even more than that. Of course, I can't promise that this isn't damaging the tire, and it probably is, to be honest, but it's definitely debeading it. Starting to wonder if this actually worked, because it just wants to lift the tire up. Even though this tire is junk, it looks like I haven't really damaged it all that much. Let's see what a little weight can do. So did we debead it? Not really. Now, I tried that on the back of the wheel first because I wanted to see if it would work, because we have to debead both these sides anyway. The back side of your wheel is going to be harder to debead because you have a longer section to overcome right here than you do on the front. The front only has this small section. Well, this didn't really work for me. It just wanted to lift the jack and the tire off the ground. So there's this other idea where you could take a high lift jack, put it under your tail hitch, put the foot on top of your tread, and use the high lift jack and the weight of the vehicle to actually push the bead off of the wheel. I just sent my high lift jack with Bob Pardee from Pardee Shop Shenanigans to see if he would just freshen it up for me, because he needs more video content and I don't have time to do it. As a substitute to that, and I promise you, you haven't seen this before on YouTube, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna slide my tire underneath the axle of my car and use my floor jack between the tire and the axle and see if I can't do it that way. All you gotta do, so this is gonna require a little bit of lifting. This is a heavy jack. And now the jack is actually pushing in both directions, which is a good deal. It wants to go. All right. I'm going to argue that this bead is pretty much broken, and the reason it's not popping off is because it's not going to. This part of the bead here is conical in shape, and so it's not going to have that pop like it does, you know, with this outer bead right at the very edge. The issue that I'm having is when I jack down, I push down on this side of the tire, this side of the tire gets tighter and wants to move up. And then I switch to this side and it switches. I've tried going around in a circle. I put a good 20 minutes into this and it's not working. So now what I'm going to try is good old-fashioned pry bars, and using kind of the weight of the other side of the tire to hang this and kind of try to beat this off, because it's off on this side. If I just work my way around and use the actual weight of the tire to hang on this bucket, maybe it'll just fall off. But before doing that, I've got to take the I gotta try to get this tire on the outside of this wheel. We have tire spoons, but it's gonna be awfully hard with the other side of the inside bead still semi-attached. I need some water, I need some tire spoons. This red water is pretty good. I have to buy some more of that. Okay, now, like before, you have to push down one side of the tire to get the other side of the tire off. I'm working against all the rubber, so this is going to be a pretty tough job. I'm going to try to get this hook, this side right here, underneath the bead, one side, just like that. And then I'm going to push this side down low enough to get pulled to the side, just like that. And what we've done here is made an oval shape out of the bead of this tire, and that allows for this to be pulled past the edge of this wheel, and we can start working it around. Now, I want to demonstrate something right now that is a safety concern. When you're doing this at your house, you have to be very careful, not just because you're using jacks and the weight of the vehicle and all this stuff, but also these tire spoons are under tension when they're in this position. And if you're working around here and your face is in the way, or you're standing on the tire and your leg is in the way, or you know, you've got stuff over there that you don't want to damage, when I let go of this tire spoon sometimes has so much tension under it that if you were to let go, this turns into just, you're gonna get hurt. So be careful of that, and you'll be good. I recommend, if you want to save your tire and use this again, to use a lot of soapy water, because pulling this off of an old rim is probably gonna chew the tire up, and which I have done here. But these tires are so old, they were probably new on the car when they got it. You can see what I was saying, how now this is hanging, and the only thing holding this tire up is the friction. You could also see the evidence of all the work that I did under the axle, proving that it does work for taking a tire off of a wheel with a regular floor jack. Now if you use a trailer hitch and you use a high lift jack, in the videos at least, that seems to be the better method. But like I said, I don't have mine right now, so we're doing what we can. So to start off with, I'm gonna try just to push on this, but I still think that's pretty solid on there. There we go. This kind of proves that if you don't have a tire machine, a high lift jack, or any special tools for grabbing and crimping and pushing tires off and putting them back on, you can still do it with like a floor jack and a hammer and a couple of tire spoons from Harbor Freight. And in the future, I probably will get like the little bead breaker tools where you put the impact on it. This wheel is not as near as pretty as the other wheels that we have on our car, and they're not nearly as wide. In fact, this is only a 6-inch wide rim, which is 4 inches narrower than the ones that are on there. Now this might be kind of dumb, but being as this is the only wheel I have, because a brand new one would be $80 on Amazon, I'm gonna put a 13.5-inch tire on a 6-inch wheel. So this is less than half the size of the tire that we're putting on, but this might get us off the trail to a place where we can put the new tire, the spare tire, on the wheel when we get back at our tools with air and everything like that. Oh man. Could you do this on the trail if you had a high lift jack? Probably. So why do we need a rim? So we're not holding everybody up. It might take an hour or two to swap a wheel, and it's not nice to make everybody sit there because you had a flat and it can't be patched with like glue tread or something. So I'm not happy about using such a small wheel for such a big tire, but it's what we've got, and I'm going to use the Gorilla Tape method. Just doing 2 wraps around to make this wheel about 1 millimeter bigger in diameter. And then I don't think I need much more than that, really. Give a little bit of this. Give a little bit of yourself to me. There we go. Should go in a lot easier. Man, maybe those chrome rims I had were of course, I think part of the reason why those chrome rims are easier to work with is because they're wider. A wider wheel has a lot more room for this side to go while you're putting in the rest of your bead, but that's okay.
we've got these tire sticks to help us along the way. Just like that. Now, definitely gonna need a bucket for this one, because this wheel is so narrow. Maybe it'll just go right in, who knows. Tell you what though, we're gonna have a lot of sidewall if we have to use this spare. Whew. All right, now hold this. Hopefully work this on there. I just need to get one side under, just like that. Okay, now it stays there. Oh, might be able to do this whole thing. These two tire beads are touching each other. Holy crap. Why is this one so tough? Oh. There's no way that should be that tight ever. I bent both of these getting that on there. It really says something to put the right size wheel with the right size tire, because that's ridiculous. Putting a 13.5 inch wide tire on a 6-inch rim is not only stupid, but difficult to do. All right. Quit with the bubbles, man. Lift this thing up there. Kind of hangs off a little bit. That's not good. Just my luck going through all that work just so that this doesn't fit on our spare tire handler. Now luckily when I ordered wheel spacers for the back of this car, I ordered the wrong one. And so I have this as a spare. I'll just take half the cost of the pair of wheel spacers and I'll add it to the budget. Use what you got, that's what my daddy always says. And just like that, we've got a spare tire. I hope you've enjoyed this video from Black and Blue Garage. Now we're one step closer to our journey to Tennessee. which is right around the corner. And so you better keep an eye out for that on this channel, on Party Shop Shenanigans, on Project XJ, and of course, Bleepin' Jeep.